What if I told you the very thing that made Android special is slowly disappearing? Not in the future, not maybe someday, it's already happening. And the craziest part, most people haven't even noticed it yet. Think about it for a second. What is Android? For most people, it is freedom, customization, installing whatever you want, whenever you want. No restrictions, no gateways. That has always been the identity of Android. But what if that identity is changing? Because right now, Google is making moves that could fundamentally reshape what Android actually is. To understand what is happening, you have to go back. When Google acquired Android in 2005, they made a bold decision. They turned it into an open source platform, and that changed everything. Suddenly, phone manufacturers could build anything they wanted. Developers could experiment freely. Users had control over their devices. This is how we got custom ROMs, root access, modded apps, entire communities built around tweaking Android. It wasn't just an operating system, it was a playground. But over time, that freedom started shrinking. Not overnight, but slowly, almost quietly. First, bootloaders became harder to unlock. Then routing became more complicated. Later, security systems started blocking modified apps. And today, most users don't even know what routing is anymore. The entire culture is basically gone. Now, here's where things get serious. Google is introducing something called Android Developer Verification. And this might be the biggest shift Android has ever seen. Until now, if you had an APK file, you could install it. Simple, no questions asked. But going forward, that is changing. Developers will now be required to verify their identity, submit personal and legal documents, register their apps with Google. Guys, we are talking about a legal name, address, contact details, even government-issued ID. And it doesn't stop there. Every app must be pre-registered with Google before it can even be installed on a device. Let's break this down. If an app isn't verified by Google, you may not be able to install it at all. Not from websites, APK files, third-party stores, which means sideloading, one of Android's biggest advantage, could be heavily restricted, and that changes everything. Think about all the apps that exist because Android was open. Independent projects, experimental tools, passion-built apps, things that will never survive strict approval systems. Many of these developers work anonymously, don't have companies, can't provide legal documentation. So what happens to them? They disappear, and with them, so does innovation at the edges. Here's something else people aren't talking about. Publishing apps may no longer be truly free. Even outside official stores, developers could be required to pay fees just to distribute apps. This means fewer hobby projects, fewer student experiments, fewer just for fun apps. Android becomes less of a playground and more of a controlled environment. Now, to be fair, there is a reason behind all this. Security. Android has long struggled with malware, especially from apps installed outside the official store. A huge percentage of mobile threats come from side-loaded apps. So from Google perspective, if they verify every developer, they can track malicious apps, block scams, protect users better. And it is not just Google pushing this. Governments around the world are also demanding developers accountability, content traceability, safer digital ecosystems. So this isn't just a tech decision, it's also regulatory pressure. Now, here's the real dilemma: security versus freedom. To make Android safer, Google is making it more controlled. And the more controlled it becomes, the more it starts to look like iOS. Here's the twist no one talks about. iOS is slowly opening up. Android is slowly locking down. They are moving toward each other, but that creates a strange future, because if Android loses its openness, what actually makes it different anymore? Now, this isn't the end of Android, but it might be the end of what Android used to represent. The wild, open, customizable ecosystem is evolving into something more controlled. Safer, yes, it's going to be safer, but also it is less free. So now I want to hear from you. Will you trade freedom for security, or do you think Android should stay open no matter the risk? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because this conversation is just getting started. And as always, guys, make sure you stay sharp, you stay smart. Smart tips.